Then I think the slave places, I guess we'll do admin, just because it happens to be cheap there. And I don't particularly want to boost the production of slaves. That sounds particularly nasty to me. Hello, my name is Mordred Viking, and I'd like to welcome you to this stream of Europa Universalis 4. Unfortunately, we do not have a Bjorn with us today, so you are stuck with just me. And as you can see, we are just waiting for the game to get going here. If you are just joining us for the first time, I am the community ambassador for Europa Universalis 4, and Bjorn, who is not here, is the community manager. We have been playing through the Congo campaign. We have taken over much of Central Africa. We still have a couple of other little spots to take out, I believe. And then we can start looking to go beyond just Central Africa and maybe try to strike at a little bit of Western Africa. We would also quite like to get feudalism at some point. So we'll need to start hatching some plans about how exactly to do that to keep us alive, which might do some damage to our economy. But considering that we are getting a lot bigger, we should be able to absorb that soon enough. So it might well take a couple of loans to pull things through. In the meantime, I would also like to remind you that we are going to be doing the Grandest Land in next weekend? Next weekend, yep. So not this weekend, but the weekend after, starting on Saturday through to Sunday is the Grandest Land, which is going to bring together a large collection of different teams, all with various goals and objectives, and they will fight it out in a Grand Royale fight, basically. And that will also be commentated here on twitch.tv/Paradox Interactive by a bunch of awesome people, plus me. Okay, so here we go. This is Congo. We have actually conquered the territories over here, which I had kind of forgotten about. Then Kalundwe and Ndongo are both of our vassals, so we just need to work on integrating them. How is our political timer looking? Could we actually start that now? We actually could. And which of you two is the bigger one? I always try to get the bigger nations integrated first. That's going to be Kalundwe, so let's go ahead and begin with that. Your relations need to hit 190, so we are very close, but not quite there. Then we do have a couple of rebels. I think we managed to just fend off the biggest group. And we are also colonizing, right. Yes, Luanda, the saga of Luanda. Because we're trying to get down to Benguela, because Benguela is a natural harbour and is one of the furthest south provinces you can get to before South Africa. So maybe we can block a little bit of the European expansion in that direction if we get lucky. We also have a bunch of cores to do, which I think I'm going to go ahead and press the button. And then technology. Right, we do still need feudalism. Has feudalism started appearing anywhere? Nope, in our nation. Not even a little bit. So it's a tiny bit where we've been developing, but that's it. Do we... Oh, we have a couple of missions. Chokwe and Luanda, which would give us local goods produced, prosperity, and government reform. And Zambia would gain people, which would be down here. But I think we kind of want to save that one until we've lost our colonist. Because at that point, we'll actually have the army to defend those regions against uprisings. And it's the same thing with Lubanian. Lenga would be gotten, which would actually connect us to the Lakes region, and then we could start integrating these guys into our realm as well. But we can kind of wait on that. Right, what are the boats doing? Are the boats doing protecting trade? They are. Cool. Let's go ahead and unpause and just make sure you are moving. Marvelous. We are making a tiny bit of money. We have no loans. We're actually in better shape than I remember. Excellent. Okay, so next question. Do any of these missions provide us with feudalism? I know that some of the African nations can get it that way. This one requires us to own Benguela. Aha! Okay, so we're working on that, which is going to give us a bunch of base production. It's going to upgrade Benguela and Ndongo. And Luanda will start producing gems. Oh, heck yeah. This one requires trade. Will give us production and money. Need to have unlocked 4 cults. And that will allow the heir to then adopt a cult. This gets us some new cults. And I think we're stuck on the fetchist options right now because we have not yet met any of the Europeans. Once we do meet the Europeans, then we will get that. Did you miss the Grandest Land info? Only slightly. I mean, I was basically just saying it's going to be not this weekend, but next weekend. And it's going to be awesome because we're super looking forward to it, and lots of work's gone into the production of it and everything like that. The teams are all signed up and ready to go. We've been working on a lot of the background infrastructure running it. Yeah, it's going to be really good. Very much looking forward to that. And there should be more information coming in the next couple of days talking about, for example, who the casters are, when exactly the streams are going to be live, how to interact with us in the Discord, that type of thing. That's all being set up at the moment. We're just not quite ready yet with the communications, but they should be out, like I said, in a day or two. So stay tuned to our Twitter, our Facebook, and our Discord, as that is our usual way of talking to you guys. And I'm sure we'll talk more about it during next week's stream as well. Get you the kind of final details for what exactly is happening and when and how and who. So more rebels are appearing. Cores are going very, very nicely. We're on speed 4, that's fine. We really are just kind of in consolidation phase right now. We have a lot of autonomy and a lot of places. Are we still rolling with mercenaries? Yes, we are. In fact, pretty much only mercenaries. Because Luanda has a history of rising up against us, and there they go again, in fact. And I'd much rather they were taking away from the mercenary manpower than mine, which I can then use to build up some more forces. How are we doing on the force limit? We can get another 2 soldiers, and I think I would like to do that. Let's go ahead and get tomorrow. Spearmen. Any recommendations for beginner guide videos? Yes, but I'm not sure I'm allowed to plug my own stuff like that. But you'll be able to find quite a few videos on YouTube, which are either beginner introductions or beginner friendly series, or just straight up tutorials. Just look for EU4 tutorial and try to find the most recent, I would say. It will somewhat depend whether you have DLC or not, as to what you can do versus what the tutorials say you can do. Okay, so we can make some states, and I would say that sounds like an excellent idea to me. Go ahead and do that. And you as well, sure. And that's going to allow us to get a little bit more extracted out of those realms. And how much of this can we store? We can store up to 1,500. Okay. Still absolutely no Europeans near us, which is... Well, actually, I guess it's only 1473. We're not actually that late into the game yet. We've done a pretty good job of consolidating everything around us in that time. Alright, let's continue grabbing these. Now, are we using any edicts anywhere? As soon as I find where that button is, state edicts. You know what? I'm going to put you in here, because that's where I usually hide you. And then the technology button, not particularly useful. I would kind of prefer if you were institutions. You, and then the second button can be the edicts. I believe that's how I usually have that set up for myself. Oh, it was a button there. Never mind. Cool. So we do have a couple of edicts. That's development cost. Do we still need dev cost? Yes, because I think we're still going to be pouring those points into our provinces. So we're going to be building pretty darn tall until we actually meet someone else. And there is actually somebody there. Like Benin or something like that, I think. Oh, we're going to have Kikonja rebels very, very soon, rising up over there. So I think what we're going to do is move our regular forces over to that side. We're going to make sure that Sir Grunge is taking the lead. In fact, can we hire another general? We should probably do that. Nope, we can have up to 1 general, so never mind. Of course, feudalism gives us the additional options. And increased stability. If we have the admin power for that, that's not a bad suggestion. We do. And I would say let's do it. Oh, and we can also encourage divination, which will give us unrest reduction. That sounds like it could be really useful. Right, Kulundwe has maximum relations with us, which means we can now start to annex you. Perfect. Money is continuing to come in. That's really, really good. Okay, carry on. So once we have Benguela under our control, I think we can probably start to think about striking northwards. Oh no, because we need the connector. Well, hopefully by then we'll have all of the autonomy sorted out, and then we can have a bigger army, and we can actually be coring multiple places. So Ndongo's opinion of us goes down. Mayumba. Where is Mayumba? Mayumba's this northern province. It produces ivory. I think that's going to be very valuable if we get the goods produced. And the skills of the Queen Consort. Tech cost is reduced slightly, but it's also increased by 50%, so I'm not 100% sure that's a great move. Although you guys are now up to Miltech 4, so you're 2 ahead of us. And the Europeans are going to be even further ahead of us with that as well. Alright, let's go ahead and spend some points on development now, I would say. So do we have anywhere which has high trade good value, like, I don't know, spices? That could do with a bit. Ivory, that could do with a bit. Or iron. Probably could have and maybe should have used the edicts to reduce the costs even more. I just didn't particularly want to be running with them constantly, because that does also cost money, and our state maintenance is already going up a bit. Kind of rather spend the money on troops. So I'm a little bit concerned about the fact that you've still not risen up, but you will soon, I am sure. And manpower is going up nicely. We can actually have a maximum of 20,000, which is going to be great. And there they are. They actually spawned right on top of us. Perfect. Okay, got rid of them. We'll move our general back over here if we need to. No, in fact, you've got an excellent general already. Okay, we'll just leave our general here. So what we can probably start thinking about doing is getting rid of Free Company. And then bring those in as regular troops so we're not paying mercenary prices. That sounds like a great plan to me. Okay, so we got another group of troops ready. I think what we'll do is move them down here to go and reinforce the 6k if the natives rise up again. I don't want to move them there manually because they may just rise up on their own. We are actually losing sailors. Are we over our naval force limit? No. Huh, interesting. Well, there's not a huge amount we can do about that. We just need to make sure that if we steal any ships, we need to immediately disband them to gain the manpower back. Well, sometime in the next century, probably. Hopefully. Oh man, could you imagine if colonies took more than 100 years to establish? That would be horrible. Mordred disbanding ships? Never thought I'd hear such a thing. Unfortunately, yes. Disbanding ships is actually a really good way of getting sailors back. So it has been known to happen from time to time. We are now 1 soldier over our limit, which is actually costing us a whole bunch. So maybe now is time to get rid of those. Excellent year. More manpower. Ooh, beautiful. Yeah, you know what? We're going to do that. We're going to get rid of these edicts. No edict. And no edict. And hopefully that saves us a couple of pennies. It does. Because state maintenance is definitely more expensive. We're also expecting some Luban uprising fairly soon. And considering everyone's technology around us is getting better, that's a little concerning. So I think what I'm going to do is merge these soldiers together. We will take the prestige hit, because I don't really like losing monarch points. And there is the Luban uprising. And unfortunately, my armies aren't quite ready yet. So we'll march over to Luba. Hemba is what? Open Savannah. So we kind of want to fight them there if we can. 10k versus 10k with a river crossing. Maneuver of 1 versus maneuver of 1. So we do take the river crossing. 105 discipline against 105. We actually have more morale. So close. But we did it. It's fine. Everything's fine. And we're going to be losing a bunch of money because of the reinforcements, but I think we can just soak that up. And as we continue to recover here, all of the autonomy should be steadily going down. Now, we could press a couple of buttons and reduce autonomy more, though we will have to deal with the uprisings occurring because of that. Is this something I want to put up with? Yes. We're in the era of consolidation. That's what we're planning on doing for the foreseeable future. Alright. Now. Oh no, the rains failed to fall in Africa. Here come the rebels. We knew it was going to happen. It's fine. Hopefully we get some manpower back before that all kicks off. Maybe we shouldn't have done all of them. So Kazembe is going to be next. So let's go ahead and put our armies a little bit closer to deal with that. We're actually making money. There we go. Positive effect of getting rid of the autonomy. And there is the Lempenda uprising. We can also recruit another 3,000 soldiers, which I think we probably want to do as a matter of some importance. We'll go and thrash your army. Goodbye. Alright, let's go ahead and recruit another 2 of those and 1 of those. I'm actually really enjoying my Congo playthrough. Became a world power in 1525. That's really impressive. Can't quite... Oh, there we go. Got it. Congo. We have a 295 development. We're actually only just behind Denmark. If we had the 2 institutions that Denmark has. So we would be pretty close. Pretty close. Now we have a little bit of time before all of these guys kick off. We could theoretically afford the Miltech if we wanted to pay the whopping 40%. I still kind of feel like I just want to put that into development. It's taking a risk, I know it is. Yeah, I think we will. Once we get closer to maxing out Diplo and military, I think I'm just going to put development cost in every single state and then just spend like 1,500 points just like that on deving them up. And then we're just going to have a very, very well-developed Central Africa. We can purchase nobility. That would be nice. We could do the higher developed colonies, seeing as we're doing a little bit of that. Yeah, you know what? Let's do it, because we're going to have a bunch of free stuff appearing soon-ish, which we can then grab. Yes, I have indeed integrated a vassal, and we're about to get that colony. There it is. Boom. Huzzah. Right, let's go and prepare to take Benguela. And send a person there. You still have your general. Immediately need to fight the locals, but that's fine, because we're also local. And next, let's go and turn you into a state. Let's go ahead and add you as a province. And there we go. Then we're going to get Benguela. Once we've dealt with this wave of rebels, I think what I'll probably do is trigger both of these missions, and then just try to station armies as close as I possibly can. Played as Ethiopia last night. It was a lot of fun. Nice. I haven't actually played as Ethiopia yet. Mali game was my big one, where I ended up, well, it was like 210,000 ducats in debt. That was fun. I recovered about halfway. I got rid of 100,000 ducats of that debt before I kind of went, you know what, we've won this game, and all I'm doing right now is just pressing the pay loan button. Because we did the whole Musa journey through Europe, the Grand Tour of Europe, and it got a bit expensive because I was dropping off 12 grand. No, it was more than that. I was dropping off like 30,000 in every province, in every nation, including like all of my rivals. It was kind of hilarious. It's like, yes, I'm going to implode your economy. Are you going to let me do it? Yes. Yes, please give us money. Okay, you asked for it. Alright, Cassandra's over there, you're in there, so let's send you to Rund. Hopefully we can recover some of the manpower before we get there. Looks like another round of Rebel Pinball is about to start. Heck yes, it is. Unfortunately, a bunch of these are going to trigger at the same time. So we're going to have to deal with several years of separatism, but once this wave is done, we should be pretty secure and pretty well consolidated for quite some time. Because this doesn't affect the autonomy. So it would be very nice if we had some internal forts to help. Ah, we can get another government reform. Alright, so what's available? We can have Religious Society, which gives us plus 15 religious unity and stability cost minus 10, or Lip Service, where we get land maintenance modifier. While considering our army is really big and we are 100% unified, and I kind of intend to stay that way, I would say probably Lip Service, although when the Catholics arrive, we may well want to switch to Religious Society. Have I discovered Europe yet? No. I haven't even discovered the rest of Africa yet. So I think we're going to go ahead and pay Lip Service, which also should mean that our armies are 10% cheaper, and therefore give us less problems when it comes to paying them. Okay, so that was the wave of 3, which were going to rise up pretty much next to each other. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and send you off to go and fight them. Before they start trying to take more stuff, then I'll just split this stack in half. And we will retake our land that way. We're not really in any danger here. Okay, marvellous. And then we'll have another wave. The 11k is going to be the biggest group. But I'm not that concerned about them. Meanwhile, our minion here, Ndongo, is doing their thing. Very good of you, thank you. Okay, merge you together, split you up because you're causing me attrition. Cuban separatists, they're going to be next, so let's go ahead and move to Money, my favourite province. More money than money. Goal oriented, was that movement speed? Oh yeah, nice. Oh jeez. I thought we were done with this back-to-back rebellion. Come on! At least we're going to get there 10% faster. And you've gone up to 17,000. What's that madness all about? Oh, and it's the nobles. Oh, we've had prior problems with them. We're at our force limit. We're making money again, naturally. And our navy is now completely out of sailors. So I think what I might end up doing here is, say, splitting you in half. Putting the other ships in port and see if that allows us to regenerate one a month. Well, we'll be able to repair our ships at least. Turned Catholic in the Congo. A country leader who was a Catholic got stabbed and was overthrown. Whoops. The missions are really powerful. You get a huge chunk of land basically for free. Congo is OP. Congo is pretty strong. Like, it's rare that you won't see this whole area unified behind Kongo. I really hope that these two don't trigger at the same time. That would be very aggravating. Ha! We can now do the Nzimbu sources, which gets us... increases the Benguela Center of Trade level. I think we probably don't want to do that until we've actually got Benguela, because otherwise there's a chance that natives will burn it down. I don't know if that will then reduce the level of the Center of Trade there. I would imagine it probably would. Alright, these Congolese nobles are getting very, very audacious. What is it they want? The Congolese nobles are the autonomy guys, aren't they? Yeah, see, this is part of the problem why we had autonomy issues previously. plus losing the legitimacy and the prestige, which I don't particularly want to lose again because our revolt risk is actually really good. So why are these guys so upset with us? What's up? Oh, it's just because the autonomy decreased. I see. And how are the different guilds looking? Crownland is also very, very low, which is interesting considering how much we've been developing. For this, I kind of feel like we're going to need both stacks. So let's see where they spawn. And then maybe send the regular army out. What's Benguela like? They got 5,000. I think it's less than Rwanda had. Prospering times. Nzinga Nkangwa has become renowned as our country's artistic achievements. So we can improve Lampuala's stuff. Now, where is Luapula? See if I can see it by just looking. There it is. Nope, that's Lualaba, not Luapula. That's Luapula. Which is a copper source, so I would say probably the base production can go up. Lovely jubbly. Although actually I probably shouldn't have moved this army until they were at like 90%. Let them spawn, then move the army. That's what we're going to do, and I'm going to move this unit down to Luanda. Royal marriage with Ndongo has just ended. How is our relation with Ndongo? Let's go ahead and, yeah, sure, let's get another royal marriage, which will boost our relations up to maximum once again. And the money is verily rolling in at this point. Growth of cities attracts serfs. What's a serf? We're not a feudalism. So I think we'll probably go with... let's go and upgrade Mpemba. It's our capital. It has 32 development. It has iron. It's worth a lot of money. And it also has a centre of trade. Ooh, now that's a point. With the money that we're generating, we could probably upgrade the centres of trade. Is there any reason to do so? Yes, there is actually a lot of competition in the Ivory Coast, particularly from Benin. I thought that was Portugal for a minute there, but they're not. Alright, Congolese nobles. There's only 13,000 of them now. For some reason, that keeps fluctuating. And honestly, I'm okay with it. And they may not even spawn as like one stack. Of course, they're in the most spread out way possible. There they are. And that's actually protected by our capital fort. I don't know if that counts as a fort for stopping rebel negatives. We got there, though. We thrashed them. I don't know what else I'm worried about. With Sir Grunge in charge, no problem. Easy. Let's go ahead and split it out 5,000 troops. Send you south to go and deal with them. And that's it. Rebels are dealt with. We are sorted. And we're getting close to the stage where we will need to do our burst of development. Unless there's another way of getting feudalism. Let's continue to look through our thing here. No, it doesn't look like we do get feudalism. We just need a European to come settle next to us and then really fawn up to them. Get a free stock exchange? Wow. Strongest trade power in the Ivory Coast, in Congo and the Great Lakes. That is very doable, I think. Oh, we could get an explorer. What do we need to do for this? Ndongo needs to not exist. Support for feudalism is right frickin' there. Okay. So I should have gotten rid of Ndongo earlier. When can I do that? 1485, so another 3 years. November. Ooh, 4th of November. That's a very good day. One of the best of the year, in fact. Congo isn't like the native tribes in North America, right? You can freely tech from the start of the game. You can, but I personally, one of the mechanics that I must say I don't like in European Universalis 4 is just deving up for technologies. I can't stand it. I think it's really artificial and it's just a bad way of doing it. So I'm quite happy to languish at a low technology early in the game because I think it makes the game more interesting. Because it actually means that there's a bit more of a quest for technology, if you like, where you try to actually get the tech through other means than just pressing a button repeatedly. In some cloth-producing province that happens to be plains and was really small, just because it's cheap to develop. That's just me, though. I know others quite like that. I tried to once run a multiplayer game, and there was a bit of a backlash when I brought in a mod that disabled that. Okay, so we have reached our limit, so I think what I'm going to do now is we are pretty much going to set up a development cost reduction in all of the non-capital regions, because that should already be massively boosted. Dev cost. If I can find it. And then we'll be pretty much stuck with the dev cost for a year. So our state costs are going to go up, but we're also going to be gaining a bunch of development, so hopefully that basically offsets the cost. We could also do Luanda, sure. Shall I do it in these? Yeah, why not? You never know, it might still be cheaper here. Alright, so that's encouraging development absolutely everywhere. We can then go ahead and develop, sort by cost. Benguela still doesn't have anything. You can't be done. You can. You can. So we do as much of the production as we can in all of the production heavy places. We'll do the military in the military heavy places like this. And grain, also a good one. Salt can be production, production, production. And then I guess we'll sort by, again, because that's going to show us where it's cheapest. And Mpongu, I think we're just going to go ahead and just dev up a few more times, and that's it. We are now out of that. Then I think the slave places, I guess we'll do admin, just because it happens to be cheap there. And I don't particularly want to boost the production of slaves. That sounds particularly nasty to me. So let's do that. And then do we have... We actually have a remarkably low number of livestock and fish and grain. Like, all of our military producing provinces are very expensive. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, because it means we concentrate more military points on actually military stuff. Growth of the administration. We can get another Diplo relation, global trade power, autonomy. Oh, that autonomy would be amazing. We're going to turn to the clergy. The clergy only have the goodness of our nation in their hearts, I am sure. And state maintenance. Almost 7 ducats a month right now. Ouchies! That's kind of high. Alright, I think I'm just going to speed 5 this for a bit. Because we are now basically waiting until 1485 to get feudalism, or to integrate Ndongo to get feudalism, and then also to finish off Benguela. Don't lose. Good. It's a little bit hairy. And there it is. Ndongo has been integrated, which now means that we can get this one. The history of the realms of Ndongo and Loango is obscure, and just like our own history, based on legends. Despite that, these two states are vassal states of Kongo, at least in name that is. Both kingdoms are no longer fit to be ruled by their own rulers and should be integrated into our own tribal kingdom instead. And that's going to give us the 100% feudalism in Mpemba, which will then mean it can start to spread. A proper kingdom, we need to have embraced feudalism, that's the main thing. We need a legitimacy of 90, and we need to have had contact with Europeans, which we have not had yet either. Okay, so we are definitely... one of the producers just came in, is that? We are going to be doing the advancement effort like this. There we go. All good. And then with the advancement effort, how quickly is this going to spread? to the environs. It is already 25%. That's pretty rapid. 1.3 a month. Oh, hello. I think it's because all of these places are pretty highly developed already. So yeah, this is going to spread really quickly. Loyal noble estate present and adjacent is feudalism. You know what? Let's see if we can do something about that. I'm guessing that loyal means more than 50. Which, if we sell the titles, we might well reach. Although I don't like the idea of going that low on crown autonomy. Crownland. Marital bliss. The Sanjay family will help us develop the realm by giving us an extra base tax, so we can say no. I don't particularly want to be beholden to them, so I'm quite happy to say no. We have a new general, a 311, so you're nowhere near as good. And Ondongo's army can be deployed somewhere, and I think I'm going to deploy you up there. We are now over our force limit again, but only actually by 1. Military ideas of Jetta, plus 50 military power. The Queen Consort Jetta is proving to be a fearless woman, often seen studying the technique of the soldiers during their training. Sometimes she even approaches the practice grounds herself. While some of the initially hesitant to engage the Royal Queen Consort in melee, others are curious about the skill she brought with her from her life in Soyo. Even though it was a surprise to some, Jetta's reputation for handling herself in a fight is not an unwarranted one. In addition, the presence of the Queen Consort seems to have an encouraging effect on the troops. Good. And we're going to have loads of money. And it just occurred to me, actually, that if we have loads of money, we could probably just go ahead and embrace feudalism maybe a little bit sooner than we perhaps anticipated. Although with the speed that it's spreading here, and in fact, you know what? I am not even doing an advancement effort here. Naughty. Natives in Lumber adopt the Congolese culture. To our surprise, many members of the Bemba tribe have chosen to adopt our language and etiquette and integrated themselves in the Lumber colony. Cool. I'm a little bit surprised we've had no uprisings. At all. Of course, now I've said that, we're going to have about 1 million. With the exception of your 6,000, I'm pretty confident in the number of troops we have over here. Yeah. Whoa, just. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to split off 3,000 men from you, and I'm going to send them to Benguela. Just to bolster you a little, because it would be rather bad to lose Benguela, because we only have this colonist for a limited amount of time. In fact, let's take a quick look to see just how long we have him for. 1558. Okay, we still have him for another, 50 years. It seems that the government that governs the least governs the best for those outside the capital. So, where is this? This is somewhere under my screen. Sinji. Sinji is slave-producing savannah with decent military. So I would say go ahead and draft them. Looks like lumber's going to finish fairly soon. Advancement of the money. Money estate gains 10 influence. That's the nobles, is it not? Yes. Very, very influential. Not particularly loyal. Because our army tradition's so low. So perhaps once we've embraced feudalism, we want to start building some castles around. I mean, building castles everywhere kind of seems appropriate. Oh. We're now getting a bunch more sailors too. So let's go ahead and send you guys to protect trade. We're now using 1 sailor a month. That's 288 months worth of sailors. I think I can probably manage that. Now, here we go. We could embrace if we wanted to. And I don't think we should yet, because we're not going to have the points to actually catch up to anything. So we just want to build up a big backlog of those points. The further ahead our neighbors get, the cheaper it gets for us to embrace those or to get those technologies. So you actually get a really big saving long term. It's a high risk, high reward kind of strategy. Because it means we've developed up Congo massively. We have a really high development for the size of our nation, but we're really technologically behind. But because we are so technologically behind, we get really big snowball effects, catch-up effect, basically, and we can get a lot of technology for very cheap. An alliance with Buha? No, because I have a feeling we'll be trying to expand in that direction soon enough. Lamba has become self-sustaining. That was you. And Lenje and Conde is going to be soon enough. We can actually go ahead and state you, which I would say is probably a good move. Except stating you increases the cost of integration. Because of course it does. Mutapa. Mutapa's back. Mutapa has a lot of the gold I would quite like to get a hold of, though. So for now, I'm going to say no. I don't really want to tie myself down. Maybe if we got an alliance with like Mombasa or maybe Moravi. Meanwhile, rebels are starting to rise. Again, hopefully most of the colonies will be self-sustaining by then. I'm really happy, actually, with just how today's consolidation's gone. Not the most exciting stream, not the most stuff going on, but it's important for future health of the series, and I think we're going to be in an absolutely excellent position for when Bjorn comes back next week. That is the 10 loyalty that we need, which is going to, I think, make these now trigger the loyal buff. Yes, it does. And we're now going to get even more institution spread. So now we just need to worry about Benguela, so we could spread out to the north towards Rwanda. So from next session, yeah, we can start getting hostile again and begin bringing in a couple of other nations under the protective umbrella. That is Kongo. If we got the institutions. Anyway, thank you everyone for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this. If you're joining us here for the first time, then go ahead and hit that follow button to get notifications when Paradox Interactive is back again. You can find that there are all kinds of games being shown on this channel throughout the week. But we'll be back again next Wednesday, same time. That is 5 p.m. Central European until 6 p.m. I had to convert that because I'm so used to saying GMT. Otherwise, remember, not this weekend, but the weekend after is going to be the grandest LAN. It is going to be an absolutely excellent event. Stay tuned to our Twitter, Facebook, and Discord for more information about that coming. And of course, the whole event will be streamed here on this channel, twitch.tv/Paradox Interactive. Thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you next time. Until then, bye-bye.